This is kind of the concept. It's not that I go out looking for opportunity. I think opportunity, if it presents itself, you realize, hmm, there's something here. Let me look into this.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to make your first million? And today we have someone amazing with a great sense of humor, an entrepreneur with a lot of vibe that's gonna share his story and his blueprint with you. So Henry, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Harry. Introduce myself. My name is Henry Woodman. You know, if I would say anything, I'm a hedonistic and opportunistic entrepreneur, meaning I really don't like doing a lot of things unless I enjoy it. And if I see an opportunity, I try to take advantage of it.
Wow, I love how we're starting this conversation. I love it. Yeah, I think we are heading in the right direction. So Henry, tell us a little bit more how you become an entrepreneur.
You know, I don't know that I one day woke up and I went, oh my God, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. But like early on when I was 13 years old, I was a swimmer. I went to a swim meet in Mexico and I bought a switchblade. This is 1973. Okay. So I bought a switchblade. I brought it
Wow.
back on the plane and I'm showing off this switchblade in junior high and all the kids love it. So I then get a ticket to go back to Mexico, get on and come back with box full of small and large switchblades and I sell them. I buy them for $3 and $4, small and large. Then I sell them for 15 and 18.
Wow.
And as a 13-year-old delinquent, you know, that was pretty good. And, you know, then I had a business where I would do pet portraits, where I would take pictures of pets in the neighborhood. You know, eventually when I went to college, this is the hedonistic and opportunistic thing. I'm sitting in a laundromat in my college town of Tucson, Arizona. I have a pocket full of quarters waiting for the spin cycle, and I'm addicted to Pac-Man. So I'm thinking, man, these laundromats should have video game machines. I mean, this is the late 70s, right? So I go back to my dorm and I call every laundromat in Tucson. This was with the white pages, right? And of course, I called them up and I said, you guys have video game machines? Thinking I would go there just to play while I'm sitting there waiting for my clothes. And then none of them did. So by the time I graduated college, I had video game machines in almost all of the laundromats in Tucson. That was my first kind of business. It was just because, you know, I'd buy cheapo machines that were outdated at auctions. I'd switch them in the laundromats every 2 weeks. So they'd go, finally they got rid of that piece of junk and I got a real machine or something, right? And so then I moved to Los Angeles thinking I was going to produce and direct movies.
Oh, I love movies.
Yeah, me too. But you know, that didn't happen. But we're going to get back to that because now I'm going full circle. So from there, I started working as what's called a PA, a production assistant on travel films, because I like to travel and I like film, right? So I ended up traveling the world for the better part of a decade, you know, from a PA to a sound guy to an assistant director to a director to producing the travel films. After a decade, I thought, man, I am so tired of traveling. I got to do something else. We did a travel film in Chile, Latin America. It went from a dictatorship to a democracy. New television networks were added, opportunity. I liked Latin women, hedonist. I moved to Chile with the production partner we had with the filming of the country, and we set up a game show. And I stayed there for about a year and produced a game show that became the #1 show in its demographics for Chile, a dating show for youth, right?
Wow. Wow. So somehow the TV film producer it pay off big time, yeah?
It was paying well. I mean, listen, you can, and the problem was I was thinking at some point, I'll probably end up living in Chile. But, you know, you can make decent money in Latin America, but you're still living in a bit of paranoia because if you're making decent money, somebody wants it. You have to have a house with guards or you have to have barbed wire. I
I'm
didn't at the
originally
time, but
from Cuba, so I know how it works.
así es.
Yeah.
Well, tengo una esposa venezolana, but we'll get
Ah,
to that.
wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. So, from producing game shows and deciding, you know what, I need to move back to the US. I was getting a little antsy to travel again. And I fell in love with this new technology called virtual reality. And I bought the world's second one-shot camera that would shoot the entire room
Oh,
in one
wow.
image. Yeah. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I set up a company
Probably
to
the
do,
most expensive, no?
yeah, at the time it was expensive. Yeah. Yeah. And when I was coming back from a trip shooting in Austria, I put it on an Air France plane and the whole thing was stolen and Air France didn't pay us.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Shit happens. I don't know if you want me to go on, but you asked
Yeah.
the questions, Harry. I'm here for you.
I have used, like, for example, Henry, with what I heard, right? There is any entrepreneur in your family? Any uncle?
Yeah, I
From
think
whom you
I
get the
think
inspiration?
so.
From a book, from a neighbor, from an uncle? What happened doing? Because or you because were all the entrepreneurs that we interview, right? Obviously you had it within you. You have something inside that say, "Oh, I'm gonna do something amazing. But only you know it. Nobody knows, yeah."
Uh,
But you need that opportunity, that chance, that role model, that book, that. So where it came from? A TV show. So what gave you?
it probably came from my dad because he
Mm,
had his own business,
ah,
travel advertising, and he was an author, so he wrote books. And so, the fact that he had his office and he was also an executive at airlines at some point. So I don't know that it was the inspiration or the fact that I realized I didn't really want to work for somebody else.
mm,
And I think I was kind of naive, thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to start it and they will come." Um, I just said, this is a problem. Like the video game. I'm addicted to video games. Somebody's got to put in a laundromat. I got a pocket full of quarters burning a hole through my jeans, right? So the hedonistic part is it was something for me, and the opportunistic part is it doesn't exist, and I think I can help with people like me, right?
mm. So then, Henry, let's talk about opportunity, right? Because this is we have seen a lot of entrepreneurs, right? That that this is what they do, right? They put all the money, all the energy, all the talent, creating an amazing product, yeah. And after that, they have this Rolls Royce amazing product that is fantastic, yeah. Now they they want to go out and sell it, and now they have two problems. Number one, they already spent all the money and everything in the product. Number two, they don't know if this product is gonna sell, right? Now you're
Yeah,
coming from a different perspective. Since you introduced yourself, you said I'm an opportunist, right? So meaning that you're the person that will find the opportunity, meaning the marketplace first, and once you identify that market, you go and create and set the product. And this is way, way better to do things. Yeah.
I
So
agree.
how do you come to this realization? You come to this realization from since your first business as a kid, or it was an experience, or because boy, it took me well 15 years to achieve to this conclusion that you're sharing with me.
Right.
I did it like everybody else. I have several businesses, you name it, restaurant, real estate, and every time it was like, oh, I'm gonna create this. Let me do it amazing, and oh my god, then I have it. Then you go out and sell it, and you find out that oh, this is a huge problem. I need 10 times more
Yeah.
the money for marketing and sales. So how this system, how this way of thinking, yeah, opportunity first, and then product and business second.
That's
Um,
a good that's
yeah.
a good question, Harry. I think you know how Steve Jobs says, you connect the dots that at some point he took a calligraphy
Yeah, I
class and
love
it,
that phrase. I'm a big fan.
this is kind of the concept. it's not that I go out looking for opportunity. I think opportunity, if it presents itself, you realize, there's something here. Let me look into this. First of all, is it a problem? Are you solving a problem for you and others, if you will? Now, I'll give you an example. The company I recently sold, I left and I'm enamored with virtual tours, and I'm making these 360 digital tours, and I'm giving CD-ROMs to hotels and destinations.
Wow.
And they say, how do we put this stuff? This is the mid 90s now. How do we put this stuff on the new, this new World Wide Web thingy? I'm like, I don't know, send them a CD-ROM. And they said, yeah, there are no standards. And I'm like, oh, well, let me see what I can do to help. So while I'm looking at this distribution of virtual tours on the new travel sites, I then realize they don't even have a good way of collecting pictures, because the early booking systems had the rate and was it available on the date, no pictures. So we decided, well, let me help you, but you know what? Let me help you with pictures too. So the opportunity was, this didn't exist, but there's new platform, the internet, with the ability to see and book a hotel, but there's no pictures. And if you remember the early days of the internet, when it said picture not available or something, you're like, okay, well, I'm not booking that, right? It's gotten far more than that. Now there are IP issues, there are categories, there are tags, there are different types of photos
Reviews.
for different.
Yeah, but back in the day, I mean, it's the fundamental of the online business. If you don't have a photo, you have nothing. It's all about the photo.
So therein lies the rub. So, you could put a gun to my head, I couldn't write a line of code, but yet I had a global platform that said, you have pictures that want to go to a travel site in Africa or Latin America, anywhere on the planet, you would have to use our platform. It was a great concept that was fulfilling a problem that I saw an opportunity, and I hired people, right? Now, I was lucky because I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. I didn't have technology, but I wanted to do virtual tours and they wanted it distributed. And I'm like, right? So it's not like I went out looking for opportunity. I didn't plan on building a technology company, but it just so happened to have presented itself.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.